Welcome back to Let's Play Dunny Legacy, and I'll be finishing Castor's journal in this video. 8 question mark. I believe it is finally time to return to Dunny. I believe I spent nearly 2 years at Cormaca, completely alone. The past 4 months have blended into one long, never-ending stretch of time, with only my writing to keep me company. All my experiments have failed with all my father's books, and they seem to be irreparable. Renea's ocean has become incredibly acidic, killing the hundreds of miles of forest. Fuji's tallest mount, which dominated most of the age, has exploded with volcanic activity, covering the sun with ash. All are destroyed, save Goarsa. That age did not self-destruct catastrophically, as I had expected. The soil samples I retrieved from there after my changes were striking. I repaired the line that contained the fatal miswrite. Except now the tropical paradise Goarsa once was no longer exists. In a cruel twist resulting from my repairs, the once fertile soil of Goarsa is now completely arid and dry. The ocean dried up and cracked. My beautiful age from my beautiful beloved is now nothing but dust and death. Will I never succeed at my endeavors? Will everything I touch simply wither up and turn to dust like Goarsa? I must rest. The disappointments of the day have tired me. 8:25. Dunny. Home at last. 8:26. I found D. Tiama's journal today, rotting away and fragile as a result of the mist that destroyed life in Dunny. Among some of the intact pages were words such as, "Castor is such a child," and "Castor hounded me for hours today to make up for the lost time. I had him buy me a charming brooch from Stato's shop." Most of her journal consisted of vapid retellings of a day's events, and of who bought what for her. She had over a dozen suitors at a time, but she favored me overall, simply because I bought her the best and most expensive baubles. She never loved me. She never felt one mote of feeling towards me in the least. She faked and fawned her way through her pitiful little life, a two-faced Janus who spoke from both sides of her mouth. In my fury, I threw the journal out the top window of D. Tiama's dwelling, and watched most of the delicate pages disintegrate as the book fell like a wounded dove, until it crashed upon the street below. As I write this, I have just finished making several changes integral to the climate of Goarsa. The age my father wrote, that was destined to be my gift to D. Tiama, is no more. In its stead is the ice age of Taiga. I cannot bear being in Dunny any longer. The treachery of D. Tiama has moved me to escape to Taiga, never to return. Question mark. I spent over 3 weeks in Taiga. Freezing temperatures have caused me to go underground, huddling underground like some kind of animal, waiting out the winter. It's fitting, really. 9 months. D. Tiama would have bore my successor by now. Haha. Blee, blah, blah, bree, blah, broom. I don't know what that's all about. I held my linking book near the pillar of flame I have constructed to keep away the snow walkers, gigantic lumbering beasts that migrate from flow to flow in complete silence. I was about to toss the book in when my desire to return to Dunny flared up in my breast. I must destroy all such weakness in me, lest I begin to desire to return to that place. And there's some writing down here, but it's too small for me to read. Today I give into my constant torment and return to Dunny. My self-imposed exile must come to an end, for the sake of my sanity. Being without contact for this long has begun to take a toll on my health and on my mental capacity. On Cormaca, it was a necessary evil, while here, every single day is another day of repentance and bitterness. Maybe upon my return, I will be able to join the Writers Guild and make some sense of my life. 10:10. I believe others have survived, taken refuge in other ages as I did so long ago. I discovered several books, one a gilded family book. The name of the age is Americ, and as I scanned the pages, I found it more flawed than many of my father's books. As a future member of the guild, I was obligated to rectify and balance the age. However, I wasn't positive on all the symbols, being out of practice for so long on Taiga. Now I just need to transfer them from the training book to the one containing Americ. I am currently looking at the linking book to one of the other ages I had found as I am writing this. The age, like the others, is flawed, but the large gilded dome on the edge of the island has grabbed my attention. I must link to it, if not only to search for survivors, but to see that dome. 12:2. I met my first survivor from Dunny today, he and his lovely wife. His name is Agnes, and already he concerns me. He nearly dropped an entire bag of heavy items onto her pretty skull, and he laughed. The sick, twisted man laughed as his wife dove out of the way of the death-dealing blow. He doesn't deserve such a beautiful wife as Noira. Obviously, he has taken advantage of her simple roots on this island. His sadistic side is beginning to wear on me, and his wife certainly is too fragile a creature to be exposed to him for much longer. Noira reminds me so much of Ditiama, the good sides. 12-8. I believe we have formed a connection of sorts, one Ditiama and I never had. For so long, I yearned for the treacherous. My heart leaps to my throat each time she looks at me and smiles, the edges of her mouth curling up coyly. I do believe I am falling in love, and I think the feeling is mutual. As an act of kindness towards the siren called Noira, I am currently making corrections desperately needed by Agnes's unbalanced ages. I am going to spend the most time on the age that requires my talents most, Americ. Won't they be so surprised to see their ages so vital and wonderful? Agnes, the untalented young man, will finally realize what true beauty is, and my Noira will come to me. 829. Ah, my Noira. I love her more and more each day, as my contempt for Agnes grows. Why must he always be there, stopping our love from something that is obviously right? No matter. Noira agreed to my plan of trapping Agnes last night. It is the only way we can truly be together. She is to write a letter to Agnes, telling him to come to Americ right away. Several days before that, she and I will retreat to a secluded age, most likely Taiga. Let him snoop and probe all he wants. I will be taking this journal with us. Noira will then leave the note in Galen, and we will wait for Agnes to link to his impending doom. We will then live out the rest of our lives in ages of splendor crafted from my pen. Alright, so that's it for Castor's journal. So in the next video, we'll get back to the main game. So see you then.